CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.
On the line right now, we have someone who is a very efficient farmer. We know she's, in fact, I'm not sure if she was milking this morning, but we'll see. Tracy Brown, Chair of DairyNZ. Tracy, g'day. You've made it home. Welcome to the show. Thanks for your time.
G'day, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Were you milking this morning?
No, I wasn't. I had a 7:30 meeting with my chief executive, Campbell Parker. So, no, not milking.
Right, but nice to be home. A couple of days aside.
Great. I enjoyed my time in the...
It was, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Tuesday, whenever it was this week. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bus trip on Monday and then Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
Down at Lincoln, yeah. Good turnout. How was it?
Oh, awesome. There was probably about 300 people sort of coming and going and what have you. Had a bus trip out to look at a couple of farms on Monday, and then, really good sessions out there at Lincoln for the next 2 days.
I saw an interesting one. I think it was on Facebook this morning, talking about farmers and social media. That looked like a very, very interesting breakout session. Did you catch that one?
I was in the other session at the same time, which I think was around progression, which was excellent as well. So, there was I said to the organisers, in actual fact, we could have gone to all of those sessions. It was really hard making us choose. So, I think the intent is that they give you options, and then hopefully people will go back again next year as well.
What were your main takeaways from it? What did you get out of side? You're there obviously as a chair of DairyNZ, but you're also a dairy farmer.
Yeah, so the theme this year, Andy, was turning knowledge into value. And I sort of, if you paraphrase that, it's about turning capability into wealth. And how do we upskill our people and grow our people so that can actually help the sector grow and help businesses grow. And so there was a real theme around growth mindset, which is always about learning, the importance of your personal brand. And, it takes a lifetime to earn that, but you can lose that in a heartbeat. So, and just that whole piece around integrity, turning up, doing, what you say you're going to do. So that was really important. The piece around the people progression and like getting good people into your business and helping them to grow, and that'll help your own business grow. A lot of focus around financial discipline, getting your money working for you. If you don't need it, don't spend it. Think about, what's the next thing. Quite a bit around governance this year, which was really interesting, both sort of as these businesses get bigger, a lot of them got governance structures, and then sort of the sector governance piece. There was a good session too with Cam Baggery about sort of macroeconomic drivers, because there's plenty going on in the world at the moment. And then, just how do we keep New Zealand competitive? So.
Yeah, we've noticed there's plenty going on in the world at the moment. We'll come back to that in a couple of minutes. But it would have been an interesting time to be there with 300 dairy farmers. And we know not all of those dairy farmers will be Fonterra farmers, but you were there right on payday, right? There would have been some interesting discussions around that. I mean, it's not celebratory. I'm not meaning that, but on the one hand, we've got fantastic news there, but on the other hand, we've got what's happening in the rest of the world with the challenges. I would have thought that was an interesting dynamic.
It was an interesting dynamic, and those, there was a number that were speaking, these young ones that are really driving equity growth, trying to get forward. The first thing they said, well, all his vows is gone already. It's gone into debt repayment. So it's like, it's a big windfall, but they're reinvesting that in their businesses to help themselves get ahead. So I think over those 2 days, Andy, it was either 5.2 or 5.4 billion back into the economy, because there was not only the divestment, there was lots of share payments, and then there was just the normal monthly milk checks. So it was, big amount of money being pumped into the economy, and the economy needs it at the moment, needs a bit of a push along. But I think a lot of people will be repaying debt, just setting themselves up to be a bit more resilient and manage risk going forward. There's a few uncertainties out there at the moment.
Yeah, one farmer, I think I said this on the show yesterday, but one farmer in particular I was talking to said to me, we bought our Fonterra shares at $6.50. All we've done is paid them off, basically. It's gone straight back to Fonterra.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so and that's fine. And see that what's interesting, again, another discussion about this, and I know you were over here recently on the West Coast, but something similar happened to West Coast farmers back in about 2019 when Yili came in and bought Western milk products and paid $3.70 a share or $3.40 a share or something. Your average West Coast farmer got $370,000, I think it was, something like that, which immediately paid back debt. But the difference now to farming on the West Coast compared to pre that is night and day. So it is a massive, it might be, and the rest of the community see it as a windfall and farmers are going to go out and buy flash boats and crap. No, they're not. They're not going to. But it sets up the sector. I think it's a massive win going forward.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of reinvestment in productivity, whether it's, how we're going to go for that next business challenge. There'll also be a bit of investment in resilience too, Andy, especially with, we had the cyclone through last week. We've had those serious events in Southland end of last year. There's not many regions now haven't been hit, so there's a lot of farmers investing in generators. Ours got turned on Sunday morning in the Waikato. We had power off till 10 a.m, so it was earning its keep. So, there's things like that, as people are looking at solar, switching to electric vehicles, and that little bit of extra capital coming back means that you can reinvest it in other things, and it gives people choices.
It doesn't take long for a generator to pay itself back, does it?
No.
Like
exactly.
2 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That solar investment's really interesting as well, Toad. And we talked a lot about resilience. Actually, you, was I reading this morning, you were talking about, was it 4 Fs?
Five
Fs. Did I miss one? What are the 5 Fs?
So these are the things that we're really encouraging people to just keep across and be thinking about as they're setting up their budgets for next season. Where are the opportunities to just save money or defer some things? So the big costs are feed, of course, fuel, fertiliser, freight, and finance. And so there's probably movement in all of those at the moment. Feed's the biggest input cost for most people. There's all these, international pressures, and who knows what's going to happen with that. Fuel, most people have had sort of these interim taxes and things put on. Fertiliser, there's plenty of fertiliser. We're told there's plenty of fertiliser available. It's more of a price thing at the moment. Freight, well, of course, that's related to fuel. And then finance, the way that sort of things are going, there's a little bit of inflationary pressure. Who knows what's going to happen with interest rates? So just by having that little bit of cash back from Fonterra, people can, if they can reduce debt a little bit, think about what else they need to invest in their business, and just make careful, prudent decisions, I guess, going into the next season.
What about DairyNZ itself? You've come through the levy vote. That's been successful. Talked to Campbell about that a week or so ago. That's obviously a big relief for an organisation, right? Because you can't have that as a given.
No, absolutely not. We've worked really hard in the last 12, 18 months, Andy, to get out in front of farmers. We had to put the levy up, as you know, last year. We're in a situation we needed to do that. We got a lot of really good feedback, a lot of things we've been working on, changing, building on. We've got a few new people in the leadership team as well that have brought in some different experiences, so we're pretty excited about that. You would have seen we've just announced who our new associate director will be for next year. So Greg Collins did a great job this year he finishes come 1st of June. We've got Adam Williamson coming in. He's a good South Islander, so always good to have South Island farmers' voice around the table as well. So we've got plenty going on. We've got to really deliver on our strategy now. We've spent quite a bit of time resetting that, talking to farmers about what it is they need from us. We just did a survey the other day, actually, on dairy farm employees, and it was really pleasing. I think the number was around 80% of dairy farm employees were planning on staying in the sector, so that's a big turnaround. I don't have the number at my fingertips from the previous survey, but that's really positive. And I think that one of the really good things that came out aside for me, Andy, was just the talent and the young people that are coming into the sector, that are getting ahead, they're doing well. they're excited about the future of dairy, and I'm excited too. That energy is really contagious. So
yeah, I always find that whenever I go to those events, it's inspiring, isn't it? To go and see those young people, and they're putting it all on the line, and they want to make it work, and they're driving they're driving the sector forward, and they're doing incredible work. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, you need a good mix of some wise heads and some people that have been around for a while, and then that young energy to really sort of have that, that's sort of where the magic happens to push things forward.
All right. Well, we're going to catch up with you in our Christchurch studios. I think when you come down, you've got a board meeting in May, I think, DairyNZ board meeting in Christchurch. Yep,
we have. We've made the commitment to get out and around the regions. We want to I was talking about that with Campbell this morning. We really want to make sure we get to all regions on a 3-yearly cycle as a board in the next sort of 3 years. And the smaller regions will get to a little less often than the bigger regions. Obviously, the bigger regions will be there a bit more, but we really want to connect with farmers, get out there, really dig deep into the issues and what farmers need from us going forward.
I suppose that means you've got to bring Chris Lewis with you, does it?
Yeah, he'll be there.
Okay. You don't have to.
And Richard McIntyre.
Oh, and my mate Richard.
And Jacqueline Rower.
Yes.
So we'll all be there.
Yeah, you'll all be.
Of course, Cam Henderson lives there, so we'll all be there.
Yeah, no, it'll be fantastic. I'm only joking, Chris. I'd love you, really. Hey, Tracy, fantastic to have you on the show today. Thanks so much. Looking forward to catching up with you again, and go out and you're milking tonight?
No, I'm not. We've got the team on, so yeah.
All right. Hey, no, great to have you. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll talk to you again.
Thanks for the chat, Andy.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lampp.